Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. So, down day in the Dow, but still, in stride, I would say. A lot of talk over the weekend about, the Fed's exit program. A lot of articles written, a lot of speculation. So you always want to see what that leads to see if people are really scared, if there's any validity to it. I think at some point they're going to have to do something, but I don't think they're going to do it in a way that, has the market fall apart. And if the market's going to, we're going to figure that out by looking at the action. You look at the chart of the SPX, to see what's going on with this trend. We're still above the 8-day moving average, well above the 21-day moving average, well above the macro trend that we've been following, well above the intermediate trend. Let's extend it. This is actually an old E signal, so I'm going to have to draw some lines here. I'm sorry, I just headed in here and I didn't refresh. So there that is. Okay, so with that said, this is what today was. After all the, what's said and done, all the people last night going nuts over it, just a small little doji that didn't close on the highs. If you want to buy insurance on your portfolio of 8, 12, 15 stocks, whatever it is, go for it. It's cheap. If you want to, just stick with this and use your time frame, so far, so good. We've been talking about the banks, so let's quickly roll through some of them. Goldman Sachs, after its nice move last year, that we talked about as a core into 121, you saw that very nice ascending channel that wound up, breaking right around here. And then since then, you had some corrective activity. Now it looks like it's getting a little bit better. So with that said, I would say above this price, you could see some better action. So it was green today. It's still above this downtrend. So tomorrow, maybe if it gets above 151, it's worth a look to add to. JP Morgan went from negative to positive today, looking good. We talked about this last week as an entry and still above this descending channel here. You saw support. It closed near the highs of the day. Maybe people think that Jamie Dimon will not be stepping down or getting voted out, which I don't think he will either. But anyway, nice little entry. It's holding in here. If the market wants to continue, you have another nice trade there. Bank of America, sold off at the end of the day. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you're in it for a macro move and you've been trading it since $8, I don't even think you should be looking. I think, at some point this year, you're going to get 14 to 16 as a just say a micro guy. If you're trading it for, the bull flag continuation, you haven't seen it yet. This was our last buy or last add-on around 1241. Now it's, hovering right around here. It looks like that can continue. This morning we talked Apple, and at this particular point, it was down $3 when I came into the morning call. By the time I stepped out of it, it was flat. We talked about this 420 pivot, which was a nice trade. And then we also talked about it getting above the 50-day moving average. And now the question is, is there going to be very pent-up momentum here in Apple still? Okay, it did come into some resistance, which comes in right around there, and now it's flagging. So the question is, will it continue from this bull flag type formation, or will it drift lower into some type of support there? So anyway, I am long some Apple. It was a nice trade from this area, and if it could start getting above this high here, which is about 460-ish, maybe then you have another pivot here, and then it could be on its way to the 200-day. There's still a lot of animosity out there about Apple. There's still, some fear and some footsteps in it because, it's battered and bruised so many individuals that ignored the price action and ignored it breaking every moving average and ignored the weakness. So at this point, we need to see if it changed. So you go one more time back to the chart here, and you will see the reason why I have a short leash is because the last few times that it tried to, have a spirited rally, which we caught a few of them, was right here. And then when it didn't hold this upper level, it failed. Remember this one right here to start the year, nice igniting bar, gave you a 2-day let me just get this out of the way. A 2-day rally, and then it failed. And then remember this was probably one of the better trades when it broke the descending channel, went above the moving averages, but then failed above the 50-day, and then, then look at that. And then this was after earnings. So at this particular point, we just have to see whether or not has Apple turned the corner that you could trust it and stay with it. At this point, everyone has a lot of ideas or a lot of opinions. So I know I tweeted about it a few times today. Some people are like, Apple's going back to 385. You mark my words. Anyone that talks like that has probably lost a lot of money in the market because they have such a strong opinion and they're not letting the market confirm it. At this point, you know what? It might. It has to get below 450.50 or below 445 for that to happen. If today's low is the new pivot low, you're out of luck, buddy. Chances are it goes above 460 tomorrow, and we could see another nice tradable move that we could stay with versus just trading actively for cash flow, if that happens. But have plan A, plan B, just don't have an opinion. As far as Netflix, another nice move here. Look how clean that was. We had two different buy prices in Netflix. First one was when the Disney news came out and it traded above this 210.50 right there. And if you stayed with it because you had a nice inside day Friday, boom, look at that. It was actually opened up down today. And the best move was off the open. And then later I thought maybe it can go $3 to $5 if it went through the high, and it went 40 cents. So closing the high still looks good. If you're in there, congratulations. Nice move. It held the majority of its earnings gap after going sideways. So once it ignited, you could have grabbed it and went. A lot of people still trading, Tulsa and or Tesla, or however you want to announce it. I know that, every time it's made a new high and gone above it, it's squeezed, and then every time it's come off a little bit, everyone's shorting. So you have a lot of mixed emotions in here. This is what you call a widowmaker type stock, that if you don't honor your levels here, you can get taken to the cleaners. Okay, right now it's at 87.80. It's been a monstrous move. It's been able to, be a nice vehicle for the active guy out there, but you have to, again, know how to play it. If you want to tune into Sperling, he's been very good with these type of names. And, just don't cost average up, because you might run out of money before this trade changes. Anyway, let's look what GMCR did today. Look at that. Same type of thing. Big gap up, continued. It's been holding higher. If this thing takes out this pivot, you could see another move. The shorts are trapped here. Look at the size of this gap. Didn't even come close to even failing that day. Went straight to the highs, and now you're in the top third. So, this could continue. So don't have opinions here either. Just trade these pivots, and here's your next pivot. Let's hope it opens down a little bit so we could buy it through. Looks pretty good. Melly, a lot of people are talking about that too. Look at this nice bull type flag here. So maybe at some point this can go again. As far as like Google, best in breed, looks like it could use a rest. It's been trying to. After the earnings, this was that 803 descending channel. That was your buyable pivot. Went, retested, and continued. Amazon's trying to just churn higher, but look at this. It's a choppy mess. Don't even want to get into it. Yahoo had an off day, but overall, I think you could continue to buy it at the 21 day. And now here could use a little bit of a rest. Some guys bought the dip in Microsoft today. I missed it. We talked about how you had a little bit of a bottom tail on Friday, and then it cleared Friday's high with some authority. Stock's been moving very well ever since earnings, ever since it cleared this area, ever since Goldman downgraded it right there. But anyway, a lot of people searching for yield and liquidity, and this one's been acting okay. I think some people caught a small move in BlackBerry. We talked about it in the morning call. Still, moving a little bit. I would say this is your next big area, so watch to see what happens there. And that's really about it. At this point, I have to head home. I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. This was the first day of the week. So far, down day, which I think is good. Was sick of hearing all-time highs. But anyway, there was a lot of tradable action within, a slow tape today, and I know it's a bit more random than it's been. So just trying to keep your size down and your stock selection very focused, because there's not a lot of movement. But where there is movement, that there is money to be made there. And tomorrow's Tuesday. 16 up Tuesdays. When everyone starts talking about that, what happens on a Tuesday? Probably a down one. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. At this point, still in 7-8 longs, still managing them. The casino's still acting well. Lots of nice action, a lot of nice movement in the bios. So at this point, continue to do what you're doing. Continue to take trades. Continue to be in your swing longs if that's what you do, or your macro longs, and just trade the patterns and trade around things. Create cash flow and know your time frame. Scott Redler, T3 Live. The recap. See you at the morning call. Have a good night.
I'm Evan Lazarus, Chief Knowledge Officer for T3Live.com. You don't become a great trader by watching videos and taking courses. You become a great trader through live screen time. Accelerate that learning curve by tapping into the experience of seasoned professionals. Currently, we're offering 5-day free trials to each of our 4 mentoring rooms. In the mentoring rooms, we teach our strategies in the context of the live market. To sign up for a free trial, go to the T3 Live education page, fill out the form, and get started when the next trading session begins. We hope to see you in one of our mentoring rooms.